So as my friend Trotty says, if it's a Zelda-like, I'm gonna like it. And honestly, he's correct. I have a bias towards Zelda-like games. So, a Zelda-like game has to be really bad for me to drag it in any sort of way. I'm Nima, and let's talk about why Zell is one of those rare unicorns that I in fact have to criticize very heavily. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button, ring the bell, do all that other stuff. If you don't, YouTube said they will, in fact, sell my children. So please comply with our overlords. Anyway, back to Zell. So, this game, I have to say, it starts off in a relatively interesting manner, where you play as an unknown astronaut, if you will, a space explorer, who crash lands on a mysterious planet. You don't know anything about the planet, anything about who you are, and how you got a weird rock stuck in your forehead. Now, inexplicably, the character gets named, and they don't really mention how the character gets named. You really go by question mark for the longest time, and then at some point you're just Reed. No one really tells you how you became Reed, but it just happens. You also discover a robot friend who becomes kind of your guide and your new little pet / friend, as you try to find materials to build your ship back up, get yourself off this planet, and somehow figure out how to get this weird rock out of your forehead. That's honestly where the story takes off. It doesn't really open much after that. You do find a civilization of people who've been managing to live on this planet for a while. And in fact, it seems like the planet has been it's not even like a planet, honestly. It's a space station that has gone into decay for quite a while, and it's in a bad way. So the story does actually have quite a bit in there to keep you interested. That is really where this game starts to just fall apart. And I've toyed with how to discuss this the best. Should I go down each aspect of the game? Gameplay, visuals, sound, all of that? Or should I just name all of the bad stuff? I decided to kind of do a hybrid of that, but part of it would be to have two categories of bad things about this game. One being quality of life, and the other one just being unacceptable / broken. Now, the gameplay in itself is a hack and slash type game, much like a Zelda, but a little bit faster, to be honest. And you have a few gadgets, and there's some other aspects of the gameplay but honestly, for most of the time, you're just using one button to control a sword and to beat enemies that way. And that works fine, honestly, except for the fact that there is not a part in this game that isn't marred by lag, stuttering, delaying, screen tearing, you name it, it's got it. Like, there's times in this game just traversing actually made me kind of nauseous because of how bad it was, just skipping and stuttering. And it makes me wonder, honestly, like, who's releasing these games? Like, did it not go through quality control? Did you not think that someone like me or Mark from SwitchUp is going to get a hold of this and not just completely bury it? Like, what are you trying to get away with? What are you doing? I don't know. But I will say that the story does hold up pretty well, and the combat it's sufficient. Like, it does a pretty decent job, and that's honestly about all the good things I can say. Well, no, one other thing. Sound has great voice acting. That is really top notch. But that then is about it. See, like I said, there's quality of life, and then there's just broken mess. Obviously, one of the big issues that I've said already is just lag and delay and screen tearing. Not to mention the fact that, like, half of it I wouldn't say half, but there's parts of this game that just seem like they weren't done. Like, they're still programming. Literally, in, like, the main hub world, there is a part where it seems like everybody, and I hate to use this term, but, like, everyone, including you, is on ice skates. And it is such a dramatic shift for your eyes that it does make you kind of nauseous and feel like, almost like, I don't know, like dizzy. It was very unsettling. You can look at the fact that, like, I've had a few crashes that have happened unexpectedly. It's not only areas, but also characters who have not been programmed fully. Like, they'll just stand there. One of the classic ones that you can check out on the SwitchUp channel is Desmond. You can actually literally just see him ice skating across the terrain while everyone's walking. He just slowly slide out of picture, which is kind of funny if this wasn't a game that you just spent $20 on and had high hopes for. Now, the quality of life stuff, which I think is acceptable to an extent, but very annoying and really pushes on that line of acceptance. But this, at least you can play the game. It's just, there again, quality of life. quality of game. And these are, for me, just almost as annoying, to be honest. For starters, there's no quest tracker, and honestly, I'm sick of games not putting it in there. Oh, but you're supposed to explore. Oh, but I don't have time, okay? Like, there's a million games out, and I want to play as many of them as possible, but I can't when I'm stuck like a chicken with my head cut off, running around trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next. And just a message to all the developers, for people that want to explore your games, they will explore your games. They just have to be good enough. And I'm sorry, but there's a group of people who's going to want to do it, and another group that doesn't. It doesn't mean that you should have to force the hand of the people who don't want to explore the games. Me personally, I would definitely be trying to look for every power-up, every special weapon, all sorts of stuff, but there's a ton of people who don't care about that. Now, that's only one aspect. The problem of mapping is also an issue, as it's kind of hard to figure out, for one, what you're looking at and how to navigate that, but also there's no icons saying where is like a certain shop. Where's your crafting shop at? Or where are you supposed to do the crafting? You know that there's crafting because you've gained materials, but what do you do with these materials? Who knows? There's no crafting table. There's no explanation of that whatsoever. There's no explanation of a lot of the mechanics in this game. For instance, I was walking through and there was this big flower, and the game kind of lagged out, went crazy for half a second, and I got sucked into the flower, and I thought, I'm dead, right? No, I wasn't. In fact, I gained a whole heart. What? You explain what happened, how that happened? No. There's another part in this game where I was just playing and all of a sudden, not only did I get a name like I mentioned before, but I could also just like time travel. That just happened. There was very little to no explanation, and before I knew it, I could jump back in time to solve puzzles, and it was well appreciated to get past that part, but I don't know, maybe explain the mechanic a little bit. And that's, again, those are certain issues that I definitely have a problem with, and I think they should be touched upon. But then there's like ticky-tacky things that are really kind of annoying. For instance, just your ability to read your gadgets and your armor or equipment in general, what you're supposed to be able to equip, where you're supposed to equip it. Is there a build design that you're trying to work at, or what exactly is your goal? You upgrade your weapons, how to upgrade your weapons. But even smaller than that, though, and for me this is an issue that it's ticky-tacky, but it's annoying, and that is when you pick up like an item, berries or something like that. Sometimes it'll be like, wow, look, you just found this item. And then other times it won't. But with the same item. Like, you've already gotten it. Like, oh, you got a gear. Cool. I got like 20 of them now. Why are you telling me on this one that I got a gear? Like, you have this big presentation for one item that you already have like a ton of. And then the other ones, they didn't say anything about. Like, gear 18 and 19, nothing. But gear 20 or 21, that one's they're gonna just stop the game and, ooh, look, you found a gear. Also, the fact that it's quite easy to get out of frame in this. Like, there's be something in the forefront that'll block your ability to see your character and what you're doing. And that's an issue because when it comes to like breaking boxes and getting items, there's not like, I want to call it like a magnet mechanic, but it's just where items will kind of, they tend to get sucked in by you. And that is not there. You have to physically touch each one of them. Some of them, they don't even come that way. You got to really make sure that you are grabbing all of the items, which for you is just literally running your character into it. But sometimes it doesn't work that way, and you can't see what items they are, and when you do, they'll be like, oh wow, look, you got this new item, or you didn't get it, and you don't even know. See what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of issues with this game, and I definitely would not recommend getting it. Hopefully, someone like Mark from Switch Up has a award with these fellows, and they get it fixed, but I don't know. For at least the near future, I would say, do not waste your money on it. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. Were you excited for it like I was, or have you never heard of it? What are you playing? Let me know. All comments down below are very much appreciated, and I will do everything I can to communicate with you. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you. You have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh man, I don't know if it's like allergies or COVID, whatever this is, but like I sound like crap. I feel like crap. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.